The premise of basketball is simple. Score more points than the opposition and you'll win. But the reality is so much more complicated than that. So let's take a look at who does what on a basketball court, why each role is important, and how they help create one of the most popular sports in the world. Now, first off, we should start by saying basketball has evolved a lot over the years. The game is much more positionally fluid now than it used to be, and there are several hybrid positions or players who don't necessarily fit into one role. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to be focusing on the traditional 5 positions on a basketball court. And we'll start off with the point guard. Now, these tend to be the shortest players on the team, and they're probably most like a quarterback in football. Their primary job is to conduct the offense by calling a lot of the plays, and they are almost an extension of the coach on the court. They will progress the ball up the court by dribbling and set the tempo for the offense with quick or measured passing. This means they need excellent passing skills and the basketball IQ to understand what kind of play is needed when. They tend to be pretty good shooters, and you may even hear players like Steph Curry referred to as scoring or lead point guards because of their scoring ability. These are the most common in today's game, but the more traditional definition of a point guard is a playmaker whose focus is more on facilitating moves. When you think of that type of player, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, or John Stockton are great examples. Now, in defense, their job is normally to guard around the perimeter, and while point guards aren't necessarily known for their defensive abilities, they do still have an important role to play here. Okay, next, shooting guard. Now, you may hear shooting guards or small forwards, who we'll come on to in a moment, referred to as the wings. This is because of where they stand on the court. The shooting guards will generally be taller than the point guard, but still the second shortest player on the team. As their name suggests, the shooting guard's primary role is shooting the ball, but within that there are nuances. There are shooting guards who specialize in defensive play. They tend to be called the 3-and-D and will focus on stopping the opposition's best shooters around the perimeter while also being good shooters themselves. 3-and-D shooting guards also tend to be catch and shoot type of players who will catch the ball from their teammate before getting their shot off immediately. They tend not to do too much dribbling. Then there are the slashers, who like to dribble through the paint and attack the basket even though they're good shooters. And some truly gifted shooting guards can do it all. Legends like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are often considered among the best of all time because they could shoot from anywhere, dribble superbly, and also excel in defense. Okay, next up is the small forward. Confusingly, they are the third tallest player on the team, and on average they're between 6'6" and 6'9" inches tall, so not that small. These players are all-rounders who can score from outside and inside the box, and they're good rebounders, having quick handling and can guard multiple positions. Their size allows them to go over players who try to defend them, and they also have the strength to brush through opponents if needs be. On defense, they're usually given the responsibility of defending the opposition's best player, and when you think of the very best, LeBron James is probably the player that comes to mind. The fourth position on the team is the power forward. This is probably the position that has evolved the most recently, as most power forwards are essentially a second small forward. But the traditional definition of this role is a strong and athletic player who can handle a lot of physical contact. They tend to be the second biggest player on the team and will use their strength and physicality to drive through opposition defenses for layups and dunks. They're also tasked with sweeping up rebounds on offense while blocking opposition shots on defense. It's not uncommon that power forwards won't be great three-point shooters, but most will have decent ability from mid-range, and some of the best examples include players like Tim Duncan. And last, but certainly not least, is the center. Centers are usually the biggest players on the team, and will range between 6'11" and 7 feet tall on average. On offense, they'll spend most of their time around the basket, looking to score near it by using their height and strength to overpower the position. As well as scoring layups, you'll see them scoring hook shots and dunks, but most will have a decent ability from mid-range shots too. And on defense, their job is to block shots, protect the basket, and limit opportunities from rebounds known as second chances. This can be a physically demanding job that requires an ability to soak up a lot of contact. Centers are not always the most glamorous players, but they do play a crucial role. And interestingly, 4 out of the last 5 NBA MVPs have been centers.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to the best team of sports writers, reporters, and analysts in the world, offering exclusive stories and unrivaled insight.